Welcome to Be Well. I'm Lisa Burgaw, pharmacist, yoga teacher, and health coach. Each week, we'll explore simple, science-informed ways for us to move better, feel more resilient, and feel more at home in our bodies. From breath work and strength training to sleep, hormones, and healthy habits, we're here to help you age well and truly thrive, one small step at a time. This is Be Well. Hi, it's Lisa Burgaw, and this is Be Well. We are recording this episode in the beginning of May, and May is Mental Health Awareness Month. It's also a time of changes, and summer's coming soon, and picnics, and Mother's Day, and all kinds of other traditional times when you might get together with friends and family. And I have a friend of mine here today, Suzanne Szupiany, and she is a group grief counselor, facilitator.
That's right.
At the Brian Dagle Foundation. And her groups are for loss of a partner, loss of a spouse. And so we're gonna chat a little bit about how to navigate grief and creating new traditions and, just getting through these new times after you've lost somebody, or if you know someone who's lost someone, how you can help them out. So welcome, Suzanne.
Thank you.
I'm so glad you're here.
Thank you for inviting me.
Of course, of course.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit first about how you got involved in the Dagle Foundation and starting
Sure.
to facilitate the groups that you lead.
Well, it's been at least 12 years now that I've lost my husband to suicide, unfortunately. And it was the worst time ever for myself, my two daughters who he left behind, and his family and loved ones. And I had met Ann Dagle. I'm trying not to say too many ums.
That's okay.
I had met Ann Dagle through, she was referred to me through my attorney.
Okay.
And I met with her several times, and she was a great resource. She was a great friend at the time when I was grieving, going through so much grief. She had lost her son 2 years prior.
Right.
He was first year of college, and he had taken his life. And so we had a commonality there, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And she had told me that they were thinking of, in a couple years, of opening up a foundation. She felt a calling for it in Niantic, and asked me if I would like to facilitate. And I thought, wow, this is something that I would love to do because it would help me.
Right.
And knowing that I was helping others through this grieving process.
Right.
I actually went for training up in Massachusetts, and that kind of helped set the tone for everything. And Ann's been a great resource for everything else. So I've been doing it since they opened in 2018.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I'm kind of a vet.
Yes.
I do the loss of spouse support group and loss of spouse to suicide support group.
Great.
So I do those two. One is two nights a week. They're on Wednesdays of each month, and the other one is one night a week. That's the loss of to suicide.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I want to share this too with the audience. So my sister passed away it'll be 5 years ago this summer, and my brother-in-law, I wanted to recommend that he go to the Dagle Foundation because it's such a wonderful organization for grief and managing loss. And I didn't know when to ask her or when to suggest it. I didn't want to do it too soon, and I didn't want to seem pushy or anything like that. So I was really happy because one of his friends who had lost his wife recommended that he go to the loss of a spouse group, and it ended up being your group, and it was kind of funny how things work out like that. And it was such a great resource for him. And so I'm so happy that he found that too. And it's so sad because loss is terrible. Your whole world can change, and then you just feel so lost and alone. So it's really nice to have someone and groups of people that are, it's never the same. Grief is so different for every person, but to have someone who's gone through something similar or can kind of understand what you're going through, and you can, and talk to each other or be heard or just have someone sit with you.
Yes. Whether it's you seeking out a support group or some counseling, it's so good to seek out some kind of help with such a grief. When I opened up we had our first group that started, like 8 years ago. That group was probably, they were all kind of in sync with each other with time frame,
Okay.
which was good.
Yeah.
And they were maybe about 6 to 8 months at least. It was amazing to see the progress as years went on. They were the longest group I ever had.
Aw.
They were almost, what, three and a half, 4 years, and I had a difficult time releasing them because I had to make room for, you know,
New people to
to come in. Yeah, it was very difficult. But they had made such a bond with each other. We went from having the Kleenex passed around constantly to social at the end. You know, they all got together. They still do. They've created such a bond that they still do get together
I love that.
to this day for
Yeah.
different events and stuff, which is wonderful. And out of that, some of them had gotten married,
Aw.
met their spouse. I've had quite a few of those that have actually met them in the group,
That's so nice.
and they've gotten married or they live together, whatever. It was really great to see the progress that they've made
I love
with the
that.
help of each other. That's what the
Yeah.
group is for.
Right,
Yeah.
right. And I think grief is hard, and it doesn't go away, and we go through waves of grief, and just knowing that that's normal, and that there's no right way to do it, and there's no competition in grief, and I feel like that's just such a great resource. And I think it'll help. I hope it'll help our viewers, if they haven't had a big loss, to even just know what to say to somebody or how to show up for someone who's had a loss.
Yeah, I think we've had many discussions about this over the years in our groups. This was a big one, how people responded to them. Some people kind of dropped out of their lives when they needed them, and I think that had a lot to do with they didn't know how to handle, they didn't know what to say, and some people were still in their lives, who are still in their lives, just were not saying the right things. You know, unfortunately, it's a tough one. You know, it's very emotional. They're grieving deep inside, and unless you've gone through it yourself, you don't know what they're going through.
No.
You know, and people tend to just say the wrong things and not mean to say that,
Yeah.
and it affects them very deeply.
Yeah.
So I think more than anything that we discussed was just to be there for them, to listen to them. Don't try to push them out, especially in the beginning. You know, you got to get over this. That's a real
Yeah.
no. You know, nobody.
And you're
can-
never going to get over it.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
You don't. You learn to live with it and get through with
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
But you don't. It gets gentler as time goes on, but you don't. You feel that the hurt deep inside, just gentler and easier every year as each year passes.
Yeah.
You know, but that'll still be always that missing puzzle piece in your life.
And you've said too, off camera, that if someone in the group, like you've had people, I guess I'm not going to say graduate, but they've moved on out of the regular group attendance, but then they have, you know, a big wave of grief comes, and they can come back.
Absolutely.
Right?
And we do
Yeah.
have a lot of that.
Yeah.
We've actually had a few people that came back after being gone for a couple years, and they're welcome anytime. And I told them that, you know, anytime they want to come back in, get a refresher, feel better about themselves, even if they want to continue to stay with the group.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't matter. And I always say that with, you know, we get young people, we get older people, we get a whole mixture of people that are grieving.
Right.
You know, and I always say that it doesn't matter the age. You know, the Brian Dagle Foundation, we offer so many support groups. There's younger groups, and some of the young that comes to our groups that may see more in their 30s, 40s on up, that kind of thing, like to stay with that group because they feel a comfort. Everybody's comfort level is different.
Yeah.
So seek out whatever is comfortable, and I tell that to everybody, and Ann sells that to everybody.
Yeah.
Whatever you feel comfortable with, you know, go to all of them, you know, whatever's available, and if you feel more comfortable staying in that group, then stay in that group.
Yeah.
You know,
I love
and the older people, the people that have maybe lost their spouse, you know, 6, 7 years ago, who are still attending, are of great resource for the
Yeah.
young people. It's more of a motivation for them to want to move forward, you know, because they can see the progress that some of these people have made.
it's really nice to
Yeah.
see that too.
Oh,
See,
yeah.
someone's already gotten through that, and they've managed to get past those initial phases. They've gotten this far, and also to see, I imagine, to see that they still struggle and that they do a little cha-cha and they go backwards a little and then they step forward again. And
yeah.
maybe it's easier to come out of it with those resources and those tools.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. If you don't want to do a support group, it's always good to connect with someone, another person that you know that has faced a loss.
Right.
Someone you can talk to.
Yeah.
It's hard for some people, and I notice that with our groups. That's why they come to our groups, is because they don't know who to talk to. They feel they can't show their emotions. They have their kids. They don't want to make them more upset than they are.
Right.
They have nobody
Wanna
to
be
talk
strong
to, or
for
they
their
don't have
kids,
family
right.
that supports them. A lot of people don't have that support.
Yeah.
And so in our support groups, it's great because it's non-judgmental.
Yeah.
Whatever's said there stays there. And we've had people that have said, I've never said this to anybody else.
Oh.
You know, and those things stay within our group.
It's nice to have that safe
There's
place.
so much
Yeah.
support. There's so
Yeah.
much compassion from everybody because they know that what they're going through, they may have gone through 2 years ago prior in the beginning with some of these people.
Yeah.
So they know what it's like to feel what they're feeling,
Right.
you know.
So we were talking, and part of the reason I invited you to be on the show now is we are moving into
Yes.
summer, seasons changing, things are starting, we're starting to get outside more, and like summer vacation time, and how that all looks differently after you've had a loss.
Oh yeah,
And how do you navigate that?
Yeah, we as a matter of fact, that's going to be one of our discussions this month with my groups coming up. Going through the next several months, we have the summer, spring obviously is here now, and summer, and that means holidays, Mother's Day, Father's Day, even 4th of July, Memorial Day weekend, vacations that you used to get together with, things that you do outside with your family all the time, or with your husband, your loved one, whatever.
I was even thinking about just like having to cut the lawn. You know, if you've lost the partner that always did the
Yes.
lawn work or loved to tend the garden, like those little things
Yes.
that are gonna maybe just stab you a little bit in the heart and just bring some
Yes.
sadness. And
It does. It
those
reminds
little
you that other
signs.
person is not there.
Yeah.
It does. And, you know, grief takes a toll on you emotionally and physically.
right.
So a lot of people find it very overwhelming going into these seasons right now. You know, so I have kind of like, you know, some little tips
I
and
love
things.
this. Share them. Share them.
Yeah, like lower the bar. Don't think that you have to be at a certain level or a certain time span.
Right.
Oh, because this one, you know, he just got into a different, better situation with himself. Like what I'm trying to say is, he feels better about himself now after 8-9 months. I don't feel that way. Or this
Oh,
one's,
right.
you know, doesn't seem to be mourning as much as I'm mourning. What's wrong with me? Why am I mourning so much? You know, everybody's different.
And not everybody
don't-
vocalizes it either.
they
That
don't.
person, that other person that
No.
looks like they're doing fine might be really keeping it
Absolutely.
deep inside.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think too, you hear this a lot. Oh, it's been 6 months. They should be over it by now. And that's terrible
No,
advice.
it's tor-
That's a
it
terrible
is.
comment.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
It's really, and it has been said to many people
Yeah.
throughout,
Yeah.
you know, the years
Yeah.
I've been doing this.
There's no timeline.
No. There's no timeline. Everybody grieves differently. And don't put so much stress and strain on yourself that you should be at a certain point
I love that.
after so
No
many months.
shoulds. There's no shoulds.
Nope.
Good.
Nope.
Good.
Nope. Expect the waves of grief. Know that they're going to come and go, especially the first year or so.
Yeah.
You know, even after 5-6 years, there's times that things will trigger it.
Yeah.
You know, you'll be sitting there listening to a song and something happens. So let these things happen.
Yeah.
Let yourself grieve. Let your body heal that way. This is how your body heals.
Right.
By grieving.
And we're
Talk
humans.
about
We
it.
have all the feelings. And I think our culture tries to tell us to feel joy, joy, happy, happy all the time.
Yeah.
And so knowing that it's
Yes.
normal and we're allowed to feel all the feelings.
We are. We are.
And I think too, I'm gonna, not to interrupt you for a second, but just made me think of it. Also, not just feeling the waves of grief, but like maybe sometimes I felt this way too, like with a sudden loss or with a fresher loss, when you feel happy. you feel bad that you're feeling happy. You're
Guilt.
feeling bad that you are enjoying yourself.
Yes.
And you should be grieving. And there's again a should. So I think that it's okay to have the joy and the grief
Absolutely.
and all the feels.
Yes,
Right?
yes, that's interesting because we've talked about that just recently, that, you know, somebody might come into our group that's new and sees, you know, quite a few of them chuckling in the corner or talking about something, then laughing. It's okay.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean that they're not mourning, they're not grieving
Right.
their loved one and they're not
Right.
missing. It's part of the healing process.
Yeah.
And it's good to see
Yeah.
you starting to, you know, have a sense of humor about things again, you know? It's very important.
Right.
Yes. So, I mean, have a simple plan for difficult moments. If somebody asks you, hey, you know, we're having a big barbecue, it's really important that you be there. I think it would be really good. You should come. You should come. You know what? If you don't feel like going, if you right away, as soon as they suggested that, don't feel like going, be honest and be open. Don't go if you don't feel like going.
Yeah.
It's going to make it worse for you.
Yeah.
Just say, listen, I'm really not up for that right now. I hope you understand. I would love to be there, but really not right now. I appreciate
Yeah.
it, you know?
I like
And
that.
people understand.
Oh, yeah.
People, don't push yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I do think people think they're doing their best. You know, it's good intentions. You know, we want you here, and you know, we feel it would be the best for you, but that doesn't mean that it is. And it's good to be able to say no and have that pass.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Always, people are trying to be kind and nice.
Yeah.
That's why they're inviting you.
Right.
They feel you should be there. You should be part of this. You know, but you need time for yourself. You know, and
Absolutely.
take that time. It's really
And
important.
I think on the flip side too, as the host, if you're inviting somebody and they decline, just to be understanding of them, and
Yes.
it's not personal. They
Not
just
at
give
all.
them space.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, that's helping them. You
Yeah.
being understanding is not putting any guilt back on them. Like, oh my
Yeah.
God, I should have gone, even though I feel lousy about
Right,
going. You know, I
right.
really, and you know, going to events is a difficult thing too. I mean, a lot of them are with their spouses, their partners, whatever. You're there by yourself. You know, you're missing your other half.
Yeah.
That's a real tough one to get
Yeah.
through for a while.
Yeah,
You know?
I can imagine.
Yeah, absolutely. Stay connected. You don't have to go through this alone. Know that there are resources out there. Seek the resources. Like I said, we have wonderful support groups.
Right.
There are therapists out there. Seek a good therapist.
Yeah.
That's important too. If you don't connect with a therapist, find
another
another
one.
therapist.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. Especially if you're not connecting them first couple visits.
Yeah.
You know, it's important. The Brian Dagle Foundation, we actually have therapists, and we can recommend. You know, I know Anne and Chelsea can recommend
Yeah.
therapy.
Right. Right.
Yes,
Right.
Absolutely. Take care of your body. Self-care is so
Right.
important.
Yeah.
Really, if you're feeling like you don't want to do anything, don't do it. Sit in front of the couch, watch Hallmark for 8 hours, you know?
Cry it out.
Yeah,
Get
cry it out.
You get those emotions out, right?
There's different things that you could
Yeah.
do too. Take a ride in the car. Just get in the car, go get a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
Take a ride, take a walk on the boardwalk, take a walk somewhere. Listen to music.
Yeah.
You know, put the TV on when you come home, it's quiet. At least you have some background.
Right.
You know, things like that.
And you were saying too how grief takes such a toll on us mentally and physically. And so taking care of your body and listening, not pushing yourself too much, and
Yes.
giving your body time to heal, because that's really when no matter what you're doing, if you're lifting weights, you don't build the muscle while you're lifting the weights. You
Right.
build the muscle when you're resting.
You're right.
You know, so
Yeah.
it's the same.
Yeah, you would
it's
know
so many
that.
different things, right? Yeah.
Yoga's great. That's a great
Yeah.
outlet. I found that was really good for me after about a year or so.
Good.
After I lost John.
I do have people that will say they struggle in yoga. They'll leave at the end. They won't stay for shavasana, the final relaxation portion, because they don't want to cry.
Yeah.
And what I tell people in yoga is, and I'm not a grief counselor, but what I do tell people in yoga is, again, we're humans. We're meant to feel all the feels, and yoga allows us to move the feelings through the body because we store things in the body. They say we have issues in our tissues, right?
Yes.
And so we store things, and if we don't let them out, then they compress, and then they become dis-ease, and then maybe even develop
Yeah.
into diseases. And so I say it's like a little instant pot, like a little pressure valve, like let a little bit out, little bit out, little bit
Yeah.
out, and then you know, it will release instead of losing it someplace where you don't want to. Like let it go when you have a safe place to do it, and let it go. And I have tissue boxes all over the studio.
Absolutely. And believe me, people understand.
Yeah.
You know, they may not know that you've lost somebody, but if you're emotional, nobody's going to be judgmental about that.
No.
And if you need to get up at that point and go to the ladies' room or something, but allow yourself to feel these feelings.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Because, like I said, that's all part of healing.
Absolutely.
You know? Yeah, it's a real difficult thing trying to find yourself again in all of this mess. You know?
I love that you give people permission to do these things, because I think sometimes we need that. We need to be told, it's okay.
Yeah,
It's absolutely okay. It's okay to say no. It's okay to go and to leave.
Yeah.
It's okay to, it's all okay. There's no right way.
Yeah, I've had some people in our group that get upset and they're like, I'm so sorry for getting upset. No, that's what this is for. I mean, you should feel that you can release yourself, you know? And I have seen some people that go from the point of they sit there and they don't say anything, and I tell them, you know, at the beginning, if you don't feel like talking, just listen. That's all. That's all.
And something might really hit. It might resonate, and then they think about it, and then they implement it.
Yeah, and they do.
Yeah.
And I've seen them as time went on, they start to verbalize more and more, and they're more involved in the communication and conversations with each other.
I love that.
Yeah, so it's a really great thing. Yeah.
What else?
Yeah. Okay, give your permission on hard days, like we talked, physically and emotionally, especially around the holidays and anniversaries. It's great to opt out. Choose something quiet. Choose something that you just enjoy doing or listening to. It's okay. You know, be gentle with your thoughts. Speak to yourself with the same kindness you would offer someone else. Allow moments of relief. A small laugh or moment of peace does not diminish your love for your loved one.
You lost.
Exactly. And it's good to just take one day at a time. You know, say to yourself, okay, today I had a really crappy day, you know, or today was so bad. Don't feel like tomorrow, don't anticipate that tomorrow's going to be the same thing. If you get up, say something kind to yourself before you get out of bed. Or think of
That's
something kind.
such a great tool for anybody every day.
We talk about that.
Yeah, every day.
You know, we talk about that.
Yeah.
How important it just sets the tone for the day for yourself. Even though your days are very dark in the beginning.
Yeah.
You know, think of something positive. Be thankful for somebody or something. A level of kindness to somebody. You could be grieving. Go and help somebody, you know, or open the door for somebody. I did a lot of, like, I would buy a lunch for somebody or give somebody something out the door, you know, that was sitting there that, you know, could need a little bit of help or
really
some
sweet.
touching. You know?
You do feel better when you give to somebody else, or when you're kind, or even just giving a smile to somebody else can really like them, because you don't know what they're going through either and how that's going to change their lives. And this is science. A fake smile still works. So if you're feeling down, and I'm not saying toxic positivity, like go around like that's fine, it's fine, but like if you smile, it's fewer muscles that are involved, but also you're releasing neurochemicals that do make you feel a little bit lighter. And I'm not saying that you're going to go from feeling way down here to all the way up here, but it might give you just a little rung up on the ladder. Yeah.
Remember, we lose ourselves in all of this. We lose our identity, who we are. We're trying to reinvent ourselves throughout this whole process, this journey. And we need to figure out who we are again in this. You know, we all say it's a club we don't want to be in, but we're glad we're in it all together. So it really is something that is quite an experience for us to go through. You know, just not only just grieving the loss of that, but the loss of your life, your memories, your future. People were together for 40, 50 years, just lost that person that they had all these vacations, memories, loved ones they had a family with. You know, and it's just starting a life over without them.
The traditions and the activities and things like that. And do you find that it's a big mix of people that will continue those traditions in a different way, or people that will just drop them and create a whole new tradition? I know people that have, you know, instead of celebrating holidays like they used to, they go away. Like they get out of town
Yes.
and they go like on a cruise, or they do something completely different. And I know other people that really try to weave their person in. I know people that will leave an empty chair and set a place to remember that
Yes.
person. So everybody does things differently, and they're all okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. We have quite a few people that have taken vacations by themselves, which is wonderful.
That is.
You know, it really is tough to do things on your own like that if you've never done them on your
Right.
own, especially a vacation.
Right.
We have people that do carry on the same traditions, and they're okay with that.
Yeah.
They have their children, and their children are okay with that, and that's great.
Yeah.
That, you know, just because someone passed doesn't mean you can't carry on the same traditions. And I think also doing them out of the love and the caring and respect of the person that did them for you, with you,
Yeah.
is so important for a lot of
Right,
people.
right,
You know,
yeah.
there's no right or wrong. There really
Absolutely,
isn't.
yeah.
You know.
I love that you normalize it and make it a discussion that people can have, because people don't know what to say. And I know people that have lost a spouse and they feel like they're ostracized from their couple groups, and things they are different. You don't
Yes.
know what to say. What I found in the losses I've experienced is I like to talk about the person that's passed. I like to remember them, and other people really don't want to.
No.
And I feel like you just have to respect that and let them
Yes.
do their.
Absolutely. And
What
it does,
helps them.
and it doesn't mean that you don't love them. You know,
Absolutely.
it's how people verbalize and internally keep things. You know.
Yeah.
There are people that, you know, after first couple of months, you know, in the groups, aren't showing signs of grief. You know, they're laughing and stuff like that. And you're hoping that other people in the group don't think that they're not missing. They're trying to work things out with themselves, and that's how they do it.
Yeah.
You know, everybody's different in how they release things,
Yeah.
you know, with the emotions.
I like.
Yeah,
I like how
yeah.
you guys teach each other that and see all the stages, and that they're all mixed.
Yeah.
They're not all recent loss. They're all over the place.
They
come
are.
and go.
They are.
Did you have anything else?
Well, we use.
Oh, you had some books that you wanted to
Oh,
refer
yes,
to.
yes, absolutely. I did have I think he was putting this up too, about grief being a roller coaster.
yeah.
This is so important, and I think we just have, am I looking at the right camera?
Yeah, here we go. He's got it on the screen. Thanks,
There we
Drew.
go. Grief is being a roller coaster of emotions. And we've gone through this with our groups so many times. And I let everybody go around and just say a few things that they're feeling right at that moment, or may have felt last couple of days or couple of weeks, you
Right,
know?
right.
And there's so many words. There's so many words that people
sure.
express and feel,
Yeah.
you know? So don't feel like, you know, you could feel anger. People feel like, oh, if I'm angry at that person, it's okay, that's normal.
Oh,
It doesn't
absolutely.
mean you don't love them and don't
Absolutely.
respect them.
If they were still alive, you might be angry with them.
angry that they left you.
Yeah.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
things like
yeah.
that. So these are just, it's okay to feel everything that's on here and more.
And
you
more.
know?
I think it's
Absolutely.
infinite. Yeah, there's-
Absolutely.
yeah.
There are some books that I had just, you know, took a shot of that people have read and feel that they've been kind of helpful and
That's
beneficial
great.
a little bit.
Thank you for sharing them.
It's okay that you're not okay. Megan Devine, moving on doesn't mean letting go. That's Gina Maffa. And The After Grief, Hope Edelman. Comfort for the Grieving Spouse's Heart, Gary Rowe. The Other Side of Sadness, George Bonanno. Soulmate Dies, that's Dr. Alan Wolfett, who I've seen in person. He's wonderful. He has quite a few books that are out.
I like
So if
that.
somebody wants to look
Thank
into
you for
his books
sharing
as well.
those. They all look wonderful.
Yes. So, you know, I think that as we move into this time of year, allow yourself to just relax. Allow yourself to feel what you're feeling, and don't expect things. Don't put so many expectations on yourself.
Right.
I think a lot of people do that, and then they're upset with themselves that they've allowed themselves to do things, and then they felt awful doing them, you know?
Right.
And just other things like celebrate the person that passed away.
yeah.
You know, we have people that in their homes have, set up little, they're not shrines, but a little table and memoriam.
Call mine an altar, but yeah, I've got like pictures of my sister out.
Exactly. That's wonderful. Some people have taken down all the photos. Doesn't mean they don't love them.
Right.
They need to move on, and it's very difficult for them to see this.
Yes,
I know for myself, it was really hard for me, and I had to remove the photos down. We had beautiful photo of us when we got married in the dining room, that kind of thing. That came down like right away. I couldn't even look at it. So it's okay. It doesn't mean you don't love them taking these things down. And so it's just that it's okay to do whatever you feel you want to do. You know what I'm saying? Feel what you feel and acknowledge your emotions. And people get upset too. We talked about friendships and stuff like that. It's okay that you've lost some friends, because that's going to happen. You're going to gain new friends. You will. When you feel you're at a certain point, at a certain level, and you're trying to find yourself, take some steps into meeting new people. It's a great thing.
And things like your group is fabulous for that.
Yes.
So great.
We've had so many friendships and bonds that have developed. Absolutely. As a matter of fact, some of them get together right before our meetings, and they have dinner somewhere.
Oh, so fun. That's so fun.
Yeah, they get together for concerts at Ocean Beach, that kind of thing.
Oh, that's so fun.
Yeah. To this day, even my original group, they still get together every now and then.
That's so great.
It's a great support.
Yeah. Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Do you have any last tidbits you want to share with the audience?
Oh, I think that if anything, just know that you're not alone in all of this. I think that's the big one. I know it's lonely and it's hard. Reach out to anybody that you can. Come to our support groups. We would love to have you. There's several different support groups. We have a couple of different loss of spouse in the mornings instead of at evenings, because sometimes people in the evenings, they have a difficult time driving at night in the dark, especially in the winters. Just try them out. And we have so many different things that you can also attend. There's some art things that happen. There's all kinds of walks. There's different kinds of there's yoga that's introduced. Like I said before, yoga's a great outlet. If you don't feel like you can't do yoga, then just take a walk on the boardwalk. Get yourself involved in other things when you're ready, too.
When you're ready.
Yes, absolutely. Volunteering is wonderful. I found that was a great thing for me. It helped me to find more of my purpose in life, because that's what everybody is starting to feel. What is my purpose in life anymore? I don't have a purpose in life, especially in the beginning. What am I doing here? And it takes time, but when you're ready, get yourself out there. Even if it's to get together with somebody that has lost somebody, have a cup of coffee with them. Be a sounding board for them a little bit. Offer them friendship. Those things are so important for other people.
I think just the presence, just being there for people is so priceless.
Yes,
it's so precious.
Absolutely.
That's so
absolutely.
wonderful. And the website is brianshealinghearts.org. I think it's been on the screen.
Absolutely.
I love that you are here, and I think this is really timely. I mean, it's always important, and I think that, we can talk about it every day. But I do feel like moving into the summer season and the holidays, especially Mother's Day, Father's Day, where it might be a little more challenging. I think the summers more so than even the winters, because you're outside now more, and you're seeing people with other families and couples and things like that, and it's very difficult in the beginning. I'm sure.
Surround yourself with love.
Well, I'm sorry for your loss, and I'm really happy that you've turned it around and made it something that gives you value and purpose and light, and that you're sharing that, because you are really a beautiful light, and I love having you around. So thank you for coming on this show.
I really appreciate it.
And thank you for tuning in. I hope you have a wonderful week, and you got some little pearls of wisdom from this episode, and we'll see you soon. Be well. Thank you for joining me on Be Well. I hope today's conversation inspires at least one simple way for you to support yourself. Before you step back into your day, pause and choose one uplifting action you can gift yourself. What's your one thing going to be?
Remember, small, consistent steps create meaningful change. Until next time, take a breath, take care, and be well.